So I've got this pedal board here with a bunch of mini pedals on a Pedal Train Nano Plus. And this is just a handful of like little mini pedals that I had back, you know, on these boards that just kind of hold the different pedals that aren't on boards currently. And I know a couple of these I have featured, but a few of them I have not featured on the channel before. And I figured what we do is kind of explore this setup that I've got going here, and maybe, you know, we'll break up a couple of these pedals separately as well. So I've got my Tausch 665 in this beautiful candy orange here, and I'm going into the input of the tuner here, the Korg Pitch Black Mini, and then we go into the MYTHOS pedals Argonaut, Seymour Duncan pickup booster, JHS Mini Foot Fuzz, ODRmini, J-Rockett touch drive, the LOVEPEDAL Pickle Vibe, which is kind of really where this whole board, I wanted to kind of play around with the pickle vibe. And then the BOGNER HARLOW. I love this pedal. I've got a couple of them. This still has, although it says transformer, the slightly larger enclosure original V1 HARLOW. They kind of really branded it as, oh, we've got Neve transformers here. And I have opened this up, and at least the ones that I have still have the Rupert Neve design transformers in there. It's just a great always on. I like it at the end, not the beginning, not like a pedal compressor, but more of, you know, just kind of a glue at the end. So let's listen to the clean tone here straight into the Polaris. We'll kick on the HARLOW here. We can go real heavy with the compression. Really. Great kind of bass line there. We've got the pickup booster, which we just featured. Running into the HARLOW is going to be interesting. Man, that's a pretty damn killer combination. The BOGNER HARLOW and the Seymour Duncan pickup booster really hitting the front end of it hard. You know, Mini Foot Fuzz. Argonaut in front of it. I mean, I love the Argonaut. It's a lot of gain there going into the touch drive. I prefer the touch drive without the Harlow. I can definitely see why there's that kind of altered bass and the altered low end to all of the clones and pedals that are based on the ODR. So the way I'm running this is I've got my Tausch 665 raw and this beautiful race car candy orange. I'm going into the pedal board and it's going into the front end of the Eddie Wong Polaris. It's a 112 combo behind me there. And then we're going via the Fractal X load, reactive load box, into the Axe FX 3, which is where solely we are getting just our wet effects after the cab. So this is a great example of a board that would be in the front end of a dry source. So into the Eddie Wong Polaris, and then the AXFX is doing all the wet stuff, but we could play around with the order here. So what I want to do is let's listen to each of the 3 drive sections going into the pickle vibe, and then we're going to switch that order to where the pickle vibe is going into the drive sections. So here is no drive. So that's the neck pickup. Here's the bridge. Let's go with the pickup booster. All right, fuzz. The nobles. And then the J-Rocket. Now let's do the pickle vibe in front of.
Wait, front of what?
All right, so it's a little crude, but I have swapped it with the pickup booster. Now we're going to go in front of the fuzz. Let's go in front of the nobles. So I kicked on the Argonaut there because I feel like the nobles with all that low end really helps the vibe. Let's go to the touch drive. Lastly, the pickup booster. If you're wondering why I have the big knob on the PICKLE Vibe, it's just so I can change the speed with my big hairy toed foot and change the speed and kind of do the Leslie mimic thing. You know, I like the boost into the Vibe, but I like the Vibe into the touch drive, the fuzz, and the nobles for sure. Ahead on Vibe, and I find that some Vibes are like, especially if they've got some good grit to them and they're really warm, sometimes I do like them after a mild overdrive. It just kind of depends. But yeah, for sure. I mean, this is ahead of the drive section is a way to go, at least for, you know, this setup. And this is a fun, you know, analog, old school, messy pedal board with freaking daisy chained one spot power. You know, going into that, but also incorporating an Axvex 3, which is just kind of nuts to be able to kind of have the best of both worlds per se here. I haven't done, you know, a specific demo on the Nobles. There's 1,000 of them out there. I don't think I've done one on the PICKLE Vibe either, but you know, it's a one knob vibe pedal. I've always been a fan of LOVEPEDAL, and you know, this is just a great go-to vibe pedal. Here's the slowest, and we'll bring the Nobles back for this. Again, just while we're here, you know, every one of these, you know, except for these that don't have any controls, can be a boost. But while we are plugged into, so we'll bring the boost and the bloom all the way down. Just nudge it up. To where we're just barely getting anything out of this Harlow here. We could bring the bloom up and have that heavy compression, but let's just bring it a little bit, just where it's adding a little bit of glue. Just slam in the front end of the Polaris there. And just with the tone control, you can tighten it up. Good night. I thought my hand's broken for a second. I mean, tone all the way down, boost all the way up. Bloom is all the way down now. I feel like it's just so easily forgotten how fucking awesome a boost can be. I mean, that's the amp right there, you know, like that's the input just being slammed so hard. So I think the like lesson that I learned here that I taught myself is I really need to be using more of a hybrid approach. There's something that I just love about putting my hands on physical things. Like this messy pedal board makes me really happy right now. And that's because I haven't been, you know, redoing my pedal board a couple times a week, every week, like I used to. Like it's been a while. And I think combining that as like just a source of inspiration and, you know, just having a bit of fun, you know, like incorporating that with the practicality of having, you know, my studio wired up the way it is, being able to run amps dry, mic them up, and then also take a reactive load off the speaker tap, throw it into the Axe effects, and then have, you know, unlimited sounds available. This just streamlines everything, but the ability to incorporate it all together and it just work. And this is just like making me happy right now. So I don't know, whatever it is, if it makes you happy, use it. Even if it's an extra messy couple cables thrown together on a pedal board in front of your like super nice, clean modeler. I'm guilty of that. Throw something fun in there to get your hands dirty, and it won't work if you don't do it right. I think the struggle, the battle, the gain staging, and sometimes not remembering, you know, where some things were lead to some really cool musical discoveries and a fun ass time. I'm curious to know what some of you, if you're watching this, if you have a modeler or if you run a hybrid system at all, what are you using to kind of bring some analog life, struggle, fun, or mess to the kind of idealistic modeler world? What are you using to combine? Because I'm kind of pretty brand new to this, and I'm curious to know what works well for other people. If you're watching and you have not subscribed yet, a alarming number of you who are watching right now are not subscribed. And if you like this content at all, that's the best way to support me, is to like and subscribe to the channel, be notified when there's new videos. And I don't know, if you're a hater, like subscribe anyway and then just like talk mad shit in the comments.